Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Friday, May the 10th, 2013. Israeli security forces and Palestinians clashed across the West Bank today. 2 IDF soldiers were lightly injured during the clashes when they were hit by stones thrown at them by Palestinians, and 1 Palestinian man was reportedly injured as well. Palestinian media reported that the man was shot in the head with a rubber bullet during clashes with the IDF near Hebron. The man's condition was unclear. The IDF said they were not aware of the injury and that they were investigating the matter. The IDF was also investigating an earlier incident today in which 100 olive trees were damaged and anti-Palestinian slurs were spray-painted in the Palestinian village of Kirbet al-Tawani. This according to Israel Radio, who quoted the IDF as saying that they regard the incident with gravity and emphasize that incidents of this kind undermine the security and stability of the area. The Associated Press reports that Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood staged an anti-Israel rally in Cairo today, where several hundred participants called for the destruction of the Jewish state. The rally was in protest of the alleged Israeli airstrikes in Syria last weekend that targeted Iranian weapons heading for Hezbollah, as well as protesting the detention of a Muslim cleric by Israel police earlier this week. The cleric, who was soon after released, was arrested after he participated in disruptions at the entrance to the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Today's rally was said to be the first of its kind by the Muslim Brotherhood since their candidate Mohamed Morsi was elected Egypt's president. Several Jewish organizations here in the U.S. have responded to the violent disturbances that took place this morning at Jerusalem's Western Wall. As you may have seen on IBA News, several thousand ultra-Orthodox protesters went to the wall this morning to demonstrate against the women of the wall and their first prayer service held after a local court ruled that their activities at the holy site were not illegal and therefore they should not be arrested. The protesters spit on and threw garbage at the women of the wall. 3 protesters were arrested and 2 police officers suffered light injuries as they tried to keep the protesters away from the women of the wall. The Rabbinical Assembly, the international umbrella organization for conservative rabbis, said they were shocked and saddened by the incident and called for a full investigation of government religious officials who reportedly called for the protest. They also thanked the Israel police for their professionalism and calm in protecting the women of the wall and their supporters. The National Council of Jewish Women condemned the acts of violence as well and also expressed their support for the reaction by Israel police, saying, "We were heartened that last month's ruling allowed authorities to protect women who came together to pray this morning rather than detain them, as has been done in the past." U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Susan Rice was honored yesterday by the American Jewish Committee with their Distinguished Public Service Award. AJC Executive Director David Harris presented Rice with the award at the AJC's Women's Leadership Board's annual spring luncheon. He said the U.S. ambassador puts her courage and principle above convenience and cynicism. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Ron Prosor, delivered the keynote address at the luncheon and applauded Rice for standing up passionately for the state of Israel. Upon receiving the honor, Rice said she was deeply moved. She also said she knows that the UN is not everyone's favorite place, and while it does great things in the world, it is not at its best when it comes to Israel. Rice said at the UN, Israel endures a barrage of obsessive, unbalanced, and relentless criticism. From President Obama on down, our view is that Israel bashing at the UN isn't just a problem for Israel, it's a problem for all of us. Rice added that she and her colleagues fight not only for Israel's security, but also fight nearly every day for Israel's legitimacy. The Jewish Week reports that a unique merger has saved a conservative synagogue on Long Island and has created a symbol of interfaith cooperation. 57-year-old congregation Temple Beth Shalom is selling its building to Ministerio Jesucristo Vive, a Hispanic evangelical church. In a special agreement between the houses of worship, Beth Shalom will continue to use the building rent-free for at least the next 5 years, and none of its religious items or memorial plaques will be disturbed. Church pastor Raymond Jaquez said that everything in the building would remain intact and even asked that a lock and alarm be placed on the ark to ensure the safety of the Torah scrolls inside. Temple Beth Shalom's Rabbi Jonathan Waxman said the congregation had been struggling financially for several years and that the building's sale to the church gives the congregation a lifeline. And finally today, the Union for Reform Judaism announced their upcoming biennial and Women of Reform Judaism General Assembly, both which will take place this December 11th through the 15th in San Diego at the city's convention center. The event, which will be an opportunity for prayer, learning, and the sharing of ideas, will also celebrate the Women of Reform Judaism's centennial anniversary. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Friday, May the 10th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.